Well, welcome everybody, this is Gustav the 13th, taking a look not at the Atlus unfortunately, but the token pack suit GM Gatheroad type, which is a crossover with SD Gundam Battle Alliance. So this is actually a suit that I was hoping that we get in some form or other at some point. I was thinking maybe it would actually be the limited suit, but instead it ended up just being another token pack suit. So this is a 300 raid ground and space suit. Actually pretty neat and a surprising departure from some of the other token pack suits. I think this one might have some potential. Unfortunately, as of this recording, 300 hasn't really been common in a lot of the lobbies and stuff, so we're not really gonna have a match for this one. I'll try to get a match up separately at some point when it's a bit more convenient. But for now, let us try to take a look at the stats and the usual stuff as well as putting it into practice. So starting off, like I said, 300 raid type for ground and space, melee priority 3, and ground compatibility. Checking out the stats, then we have 11k HP, ballistic, melee, and beam resistance are all 10. Range strength is 20, melee strength is 10, movement speed is 130, top speed is 190, thruster gauge is 55, and turning speed is 60. Checking out the part slots, then we have close range at 6, medium range at 9, and long range at 5. Moving on then to these skills on the other side here, we have Assault Booster level 1, High Spec Ambec level 2, High Performance Balancer level 1, Maneuver Armor level 1, Melee Combo Controller level 1, Emergency Evasion System level 1, Leg Shock Absorber level 2, and Frontline Support System level 1. Looking then at equipment, we are looking at a couple things here. So it has the beam spray guns, the Kimbo like it has in the game towards the end. It also has a single shot with this, where it actually fires both and you get a instant stun, the heat rate being at 90 with a range of 250. So definitely just there to get the stun in, because this has some pretty serious melee going on. Both the downswing on this is a thrust, and this is a really big wide downswing, much like the Violent with its own dual sabers. The head-mounted Vulcans on this are actually really good for accumulation, and the beam spray rapid as well does it in like I think 6-round bursts or so. The one drawback of which you'll see when we get into practice, it is unfortunately a commit stance weapon. But speaking of which, let's look at the upgrade parts and then we'll start moving on over there for a second. So the enhancement list on this, we're talking cooling support system level 1, complex expansion at the second slot for level 1, anti-beam armor reinforcement level 1, ADFCS, which is a little bit of extra range at level 1, cooling support system level 1, and +4 to range modifier at the final unlockable bit here. Now, let us try to bring this into practice so that we can check out how this actually runs on the field, and I'll see you guys there in a sec. Alright, here we go. So, one other aspect that you'll notice is that practice mode also has the stun accumulation bar, much like in duels and whatnot. So you can actually see how that works. If you see right there, the Vulcans actually have some pretty good accumulation on them right out of the gate. Instant stun, like I said, with the main gun. The rapid fire being an accumulative burst. Although, as you notice there, one burst is not enough to put them over. You should probably do like some Vulcans first to lead into these to do the burst down. That being said, because it is a commit stance, you might find it a little bit hard to actually get the melee down. Although if you want to try to commit to something, you should probably just do this one since it does have a little bit more reach. Both of the downswings on this suit are very dramatic. They both have a considerable amount of windup on them, but they are pretty potent. And if you are able to get into a more confined area or have a really good like wide strafe that you can do, you can make contact with 3 downswings, starting with the single and then ending on the single. So not bad at all. The other thing that I didn't check earlier when I was messing with this is the one thing that I'm sure it's not going to do very well, even though it does lean more on range, is seeing what kind of damage this does to base. every once in a while you have one that kind of comes out of the support range that still is able to do a decent amount. So I always gotta check at least once. Let's see here. Couple swings. Yeah, that's not a lot. If you're going through your entire weapons list and you're not doing like a visible sliver even, then yeah, this isn't really gonna be for base busting, which figures it is ultimately still a raid. One thing to also keep in mind is that because we have combo controller 1 on this, you get 2 swings with the regular saber. The double beams though, you only get 1 swing. Also, keeping in mind, you do have some interesting reach on your neutral as well as your left swing on this. The angles and stuff are kind of funky, and it seems like the swings on the dual sabers are a little bit more Tristan-like. It brings it down for the neutral, and then you have the 2-hitter, I think, swipe for the for the side swipes. On top of having this really wide downswing that just reaches like pretty much around you pretty solidly. But yeah, that's the overall gist of this suit. One other thing that I kind of, oh my god, well, it would have been nice if I didn't do that, is that let's try to see the counter for this thing. So yeah, this is another feature of the practice thing now. I think it's forces counter, so yeah, you can just see it. Oh, that's the good shit. Bust out the guns for the final strike on that. Very nice. So in general, a pretty aggressive suit. Surprisingly, for 300 cost too. I think out of all the token suits, this might actually have the potential to be one of the ones that is actually kind of worth it. There have been uses for some of the previous suits, and they're not all awful, but they also haven't really been prominent in their cost that much since their introduction. So only time will tell though. Especially since this is also contending with another raid that just got put in its range for the clan suit, right? The Kiyosaki running around with an instant knockdown, among other things. So it'll be interesting to see those dueling and vying for low cost supremacy. But that is the GM Gatheroad in a nutshell. Well, like I said, I'll try to get a suit run with this, a match at some point, hopefully in the near future. But until then, this is Gustav the 13th. I'll talk to y'all in the next one.